And welcome back to another episode of the Movie Hoppers. And today, and by today I mean yesterday, and by yesterday I mean the day before that, we saw the new Zombieland movie, Zombieland 2 Double Tap, or just Zombieland Double Tap. Who cares? Who knows? And today I have a special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself to the folks at home?
What's popping?
Oh man,
That's it. That's it. It's the entire intro.
that's it. Okay. Well, I
That's it.
guess
No
since
name. Doesn't matter.
since the intro is over, I guess we gotta go right into it now because since this is a sequel, we should contextualize some things, especially our relationship to the first one. Um, I saw the first one about 2 or 3 days before this current one, and it was like okay. It didn't have much of a plot. It was kind of funny, but it was really like loosey goosey all around. I don't know why it's considered a classic when it's just kind of sufficiently funny and sufficiently entertaining and not really more than that.
Yeah, I feel
Um,
like it's the appeal of it is that it's generic to the point where you can put it on TV at any point, join in, and still enjoy the movie. That's
yeah,
how I've seen it. I've always seen like bits and pieces on TV, and then I watched like the whole thing through, just like maybe a month before now. So
yeah,
you probably have a better memory of the movie than me.
yeah. But I guess that's the thing with the first one. You can really, even if you've never seen the movie before, you can jump in at any time
Oh yeah,
and
definitely.
just keep watching. But I've got to say, and this doesn't happen a lot with sequels, I found this one, at least personally, better than the first one.
It
Um,
actually had a plot to it, and it was
yeah,
still hilarious. Yeah.
I felt like this one was funnier, probably because it had more of a plot, so I wasn't kind of exhausted all the time. Because the last one was just pretty much a series of vignettes. This one is actually, they want to go somewhere to do a specific thing, and they have
hmm
reasons and motivations that you understand. And I feel like this is actually how you should do a sequel. Um, because this doesn't fall back on the first one. Like when it doesn't have a joke, it doesn't like. I see a lot of comedy
Oh,
movies do
remember a
this.
thing from the first movie?
Yeah,
Haha, laugh now.
and then especially in the Austin Powers movies, I guess just as an example, they will literally just do the same joke again,
hmm
and it's so annoying. This one doesn't fall back. It kind of feeds off the first one, like, and uses your knowledge of the
Yeah,
first one to make new jokes and uses the
like
old jokes. Yeah.
like the annoyance of their doppelgangers is just
Yeah.
based on how annoying the combo was in the first movie.
Yeah. And it just I feel like it instead of rips off the first one, it actually kind of it was inspired by the first one and uses
Yeah.
it to its advantage and I'm surprised because most comedies don't do that. But I've been talking for a real long time. What do you think about this? What's your opening thoughts here?
So, without getting into spoilers,
Mhm.
this was probably one of the best sequels I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Like Jesse Eisenberg was hilarious in the movie.
of course.
Um, each character like had their own arc regardless of the comedic aspects,
Mm.
and each one got resolved, which is completely different from the first movie because in the first movie I think their only goal was to get to that amusement park because
Uh,
they didn't know where to go.
well, Columbus had a goal for like 2 seconds, and
Yeah, because then when they got there,
yeah,
they didn't they found all the zombies and then they didn't know where to go and they all started roaming again. But the
Tallahassee.
second movie picks up off of that and they find a place to go. They find the White House, which is
Yeah,
fucking dope.
that's pretty funny. But yeah,
Um, yeah,
yeah, it was good. Um, yeah, I like the obviously the characters are good, the actors are good. I guess my one problem is that the whole doppelganger thing, which from the trailers could be assumed was the point
they
of the
definitely
movie.
made it seem like it was the point of the movie. Like
Yeah,
it
but
was
it's
they were
definitely not.
introducing new members to the cast.
Yeah.
But even when they had what was her name? Madison,
Uh.
the really annoying one with the pink.
Oh yeah, that's Matt. Yeah, that's
I think her
Madison.
name was Madison.
Yeah.
Yeah. They let's not spoil it.
Mhm.
Early in the movie, she's established, and she starts having like the signs of like the zombie virus. She
Uh
starts
huh.
like throwing up,
Yeah.
and they take her into the woods to shoot her.
Uh-huh.
Um, it it totally puts you in the mood that any character could die as quickly as she did,
Uh-huh. And
which is really a I mean, I think that makes a lot of sense because in like this kind of zombie movie, like it doesn't really make sense that I don't even think that all four characters should have survived the original.
uh-huh.
Like there's that scene where Woody Harrelson is just in the middle of that one carnival booth, and he
Yeah.
just takes out like an entire horde.
With
I
like
definitely feel like he should have
pistols.
died there, but
Yeah.
he didn't.
Yeah.
Um, there's tons of points in the movie where they have way too close calls, and there are tons of movies where nobody ends up getting hurt.
Yeah.
And I really like points where characters actually like fucking bite it.
Yeah, I like that too. Um, I find it actually unique when characters die because we're at a point where characters dying is actually like something
The cool
special.
shit, dude.
Yeah, it's like cool, like wow, they
Yeah.
actually did that. Good for them. But
And then we end up getting Finn from Last Jedi.
yeah, dude, that was fucking stupid.
Yeah, that was
Um,
horrible.
but it's the Last Jedi, and this is a better movie than the Last Jedi,
Oh, it
luckily.
definitely is.
Um, but yeah, I'm not gonna say anything about that to spoiler talk, but there are things to say. Uh,
I feel like we're gonna. I feel like we have a lot more to say in terms of spoilers.
mhm. I
Do you think we
guess
should just move to it now?
I just want to say a couple more things. I guess just to wrap
All
it up
right.
for people who haven't seen it yet. Um, it's funnier than the first one. It has a better plot. It still has some problems with the plot, but that's a given. There are new characters introduced at some points, but they actually mesh really well with the main cast. That it's like it doesn't take away from
Even when they
them.
don't stick around, you still
Yeah.
feel like they were. Even when they don't stick around, you feel like they're still meant to be part of the group
Hmm.
when they're eventually missed.
Yeah, I guess that's what made
Yeah.
Zombieland 1 so memorable for people is the characters and the
Hmm.
the writing of the characters. They definitely don't drop the ball there in this one too. So yeah, if you like the first one, see it, and if you thought the first one was iffy, I would still recommend this because this is a lot better than the first one. But if you have nothing
On
else to
my end,
say, we'll
I
go
have
into
nothing else to say.
let's go into spoiler talk
Spoilers.
then.
All right. So Madison doesn't end up dying
Oh no,
in that
yeah,
shootout scene.
it's kind of predictable.
Not shootout. They take her into the woods to
Yeah,
shoot her, and she looks completely infected.
yeah,
And then you hear the gunshots, and I'm pretty sure everybody in the theater knew immediately she wasn't dead
yeah.
because even though all of her scenes from trailers and stuff were before that point, she's a main character in the second movie,
Yeah.
so they're not going to just write her off.
Uh, although I feel
Um,
like in this movie and in comedies in general, it doesn't really matter really if it's predictable or not, or if the
yeah,
characters get out of stupid situations, because that's not really the point. Doesn't really
like
have.
the opening where they were just playing Master of Puppets while they were all just shooting a million zombies in a field.
Yeah,
Like that doesn't make sense at all.
yeah, of course. But like again, this isn't like a dramatic movie or really
I
even a
know it's
horror movie.
hilarious.
It's hilarious, yeah, and that's the point. And it's just a funny movie overall. Uh, but the parts with the doppelgangers, that's I thought that was kind of too.
I think that Jesse Eisenberg and his doppelganger was single-handedly some of the best parts of the movie. The way they rattled off each other was great
Yeah, it
because both their characters are unrealistically trustworthy of random people.
yeah,
So it makes complete sense that they would hit it off.
yeah. But I'm kind of on the fence about this. Do you think they should have been killed off so early after they were introduced, or do you think they should have had more screen time?
I think it was fine because it was all there for the joke,
Mm-hmm.
right? That the
Yeah.
entire setup, the entire from the point where they get to that whatever building it is, I can't remember. It's just some kind of like
Oh,
Elvis
Elvis's
museum, right?
house. Yeah.
What from the point where they get there to when they leave, it's all set up to be like one big joke. They're not really meant to be. there permanently
Yeah.
because what's her name, Little Rock is gone from like the second they get there. So it's not even like a big, oh man, we found our fourth main character
Yeah.
plot point. I feel like them going out there. Um, there are zombies on their monster truck, and they go out to get them off, and they get bit. It makes sense that they would just turn immediately, and they
Uh,
would have to fight them right there because
yeah.
it sets up for a lot of it sets up for a cool action scene because that action scene is cool in general,
Yeah.
where they're running throughout the entire house. But I feel like even though the chemistry between Jesse Eisenberg and whatever his doppelganger's name is,
Uh,
what was it? Middleditch. Thomas Middleditch.
yeah.
Chemistry between those two is great, but it definitely would have gotten annoying if they kept going.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. I guess it was just kind of something to put in the trailers. But speaking of the action scenes, this one definitely feels like it has a higher budget than the
Mhm.
first one. Um, although the CG is kind of shoddy at times.
Yeah, like nearing the end when they drop those fridges and other
Yeah,
appliances and air conditioners off, it looks very rough.
and you can always
But I mean, I
tell.
still feel like it. I still feel like it fits because
Mhm.
the movie's so out there.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, like stuff like you can always tell when it's actually like a real actor zombie and a CG
Hmm.
zombie. But there is definitely a budget increase and more technology. And although I'm not gonna say this, that budget is everything in a movie. In a movie like this, it does help because with more budget comes more set pieces, comes bigger action scenes, funnier jokes. Just overall, I'm just
I
Zombieland.
mean, I think your point can come down to the point that have you ever seen a school movie or the school news?
Yeah,
Um, doesn't look too great.
yeah, but
I feel like it all
Zombieland.
gets added up to that.
Yeah, but there are some movies out there where they just sink a bunch of money into it, and they think, oh, we put $100 million into this, it's gonna be a good movie, but they really didn't need to put $100 million into it. Zombieland is the type of movie where
It
budget,
balances it.
yeah, balances it. Budget can equal quality, and I think this one has a $50 million budget. And although the CG was kind of shoddy, I do feel like they definitely didn't waste that money, which I liked. The new set pieces and stuff. Not everything looked the same. It was good. I liked it.
Yeah. Um, what was I going to say? A lot of people in the first movie really didn't like the narration.
Hmm.
I think it suits this movie perfectly because narration in books, that's very clear. Narrators telling you what's happening.
Yeah.
Narration in movies, people say like, just show, don't tell.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like the narration serves as a way to turn your brain off so that you don't really have to think about the plot. You can just laugh at the jokes.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything that Jesse Eisenberg says through narration is fairly obvious on screen.
Hmm.
But if you don't pick up on it because you're laughing at the jokes, then it's there to explain it to you so that you don't have to worry about the more serious plot points.
Yeah. It's definitely a movie you can watch with your brain off. But I wasn't even thinking about the narration, but I do remember watching the first one that I was kind of annoyed by the narration because it was almost like a book. It was almost
Yeah,
like an adaptation of a book, like, oh, we're walking here, we're doing this. In this movie, it was, it did what you said it did, but it also toned it down a bit. I feel like it's kind of the best of both worlds in that regard. I did, I kind of almost
well,
didn't
I'm pretty sure Zombieland is actually a comic.
really.
I don't know though,
I'm gonna look that
so
up.
that could be a result of narration,
Uh,
or a cause of narration.
comicbook.com. Let's see here. No, I don't think it is. I think it's an
Yeah,
original
all right.
thing. But like what I was saying, the narration was definitely something I noticed in the first one, and that's not the best thing. But in this one, I didn't even remember the narration until you told me about it, and I feel like that's kind of a good thing because it's not supposed to be a main part of the movie. But it did its job, so yeah, I feel like the narration was better in this one, less overbearing.
Mhm.
Uh, what else?
You want to talk
You know,
about some of the funniest parts of the movie for you?
s-
What was your favorite joke?
um, damn. This it's definitely like a joke a minute movie. You know, a lot of movies
Hmm.
I'm not consistently laughing, but this one, it really got me, which was
The
surprising.
entire this the entire time, I'm pretty sure all four of us there had a giant smile on our face.
Yeah, it was very surprising. I haven't seen a mainstream comedy in years that actually made me laugh, so this was
Hmm.
good. But funniest part, god damn, that's I feel like an underappreciated part, not exactly the funniest, but one that does deserve a mention, was the zombie kill of the year, where the guy just freaking takes a car jack and gets the leaning tower of Pisa
Yeah, the
and knocks
entire
it
Leaning
over.
of
That
Tower
was
pizza. All the zombie kills of the year are pretty amazing.
yeah,
There's the one guy who runs over a zombie with a tractor,
yeah,
and then there's Tallahassee's zombie kill of the year at the end.
yeah. Um. Oh shit, I was gonna say something else, but it was funny. One of the people we went with cried a lot during the movie, so I guess don't go if you're very emotional, because there's a lot of parts where death is teased. Uh, but one thing that surprised me, I just remembered what I was gonna say. One thing that surprised me was that the quote unquote annoying girl Madison, she didn't really wear on me at all. Like,
Yeah, she definitely pissed me off. I did not like her character.
he did not like her.
I did not like her character. It was very annoying. But I think the reason she doesn't really wear on people is that all of her lines are set up as a joke. It's not
Mhm.
as like it's not made. Her character is meant to be annoying, and
Yeah.
that is the joke.
Uh
But I
huh.
feel like they handle it as she's making annoying jokes and not she's being annoying for a joke.
Yeah.
Because there's a fine line between that.
Uh huh.
Because she's incredibly stupid,
Yeah.
but she does things like she says she has mace to fight
Mhm.
zombies,
Yeah.
and you immediately go, "Oh, okay, that's stupid."
Uh huh.
But she ends up saving Emma Stone with the mace. So even though it's completely, it's the stupidest idea ever. It still plays into the story at some point, and it gets a laugh because it's like, oh man, she said she had that.
Yeah, it comes back. I like the part where they hard stopped in the car and she fucking
Hmm.
flew. That was funny. Just it's just a movie with a bunch of little moments. It's what was the
It's
funniest
all
part
the
for
small
you?
things. The funniest part for me was definitely that mid credit. Um,
Oh my god, yes. How
earlier
did we
earlier
forget
in the
about
movie,
that?
earlier in the movie, um, what's her name? Nevada almost kills Woody Harrelson
Hmm.
because she thinks he's a zombie, right?
Yeah.
And in order to describe that, she says, I almost murrayed you. And then everybody goes, oh, what's murraying? And she's like, oh man, well apparently Bill Murray died because he was shot because somebody thought he was a zombie. If I ever find the person who does that, I'm gonna kill them. And then Jesse Eisenberg is very scared by that. So at the end of the movie, he is so overridden with guilt. The credits start rolling for a minute or two, and then they stop, and then it's just his narration going, okay, so I feel really bad about that. So here's this footage of Bill Murray. So but right as the zombie outbreak starts, um, Bill Murray's in an interview for his new movie, none other than Garfield
That
3.
was great. Love that
And
part.
he does his hairball impersonation,
Yeah.
and he talks about the movie a bit, and then he's standing right next to the interviewer, um, like side by side, and the interviewer starts turning into a zombie. Most people would like jump back and react and oh no, that's scary. But Bill Murray is just so old and incapable of doing like really any physical action that he just kind of stands completely still like a pencil and just like moves to the side. And then he picks up a chair and bashes his skull in. This other dude gets the cameraman gets tackled by a zombie right next to him, and he's just standing there, like confused out of his mind. The senile old man he is. He's taking plates and throwing them like ninja stars. He's crushing Garfield posters over zombies' heads. He's absolutely massacring this field of zombies, and he still gets out alive for the start of Zombieland 1.
Yeah, and I guess that's the part I like, the fact that that whole Bill Murray joke. It's not like they killed another celebrity. It's not like they killed Bill Murray again. No, they made a new joke based off the events of the last movie.
Hmm.
And a lot of mainstream comedies, they don't bother with that. They just repeat the jokes. But this one actually, made a new joke, and I like that. I like that. That's a good
And
example.
it makes sense that it would actually like it makes sense that they would call it murraying
Hmm.
because in a lot of these movies where it's like a post-apocalyptic scenario or a dystopian scenario,
Yeah.
like you can think of the Maze Runner, people usually end up like developing their own language
Yeah.
for like specific terms that don't really apply to regular day life. Because what would you call, without using the word murraying, what would you call killing somebody who you think is a zombie but turns out to be not be a zombie? There's nothing.
Yeah.
You'd have to make your own word for that.
Yeah, they did
So
that.
I feel like it makes sense to play off of the events of the last movie because somebody like Bill Murray dying in such a specific way, it seems like it would be such a popular event.
Yeah, and they did that with the zombie names too. They named like all the species of zombies.
Hmm.
Although I feel like that could have played a bigger role than it did. Like
It
especially
it definitely could have.
the new zombie type, the T-800s. They kind of are basically just a non-threat.
Yeah. Well, they're built up to be harder to kill,
Uh
but
huh.
in the end of the movie, there's that giant swarm of T-800s,
Uh huh.
and they drop like flies.
Yeah, I know that. I feel like a lot of movies have
Like
that problem.
yeah, the first one that our cast finds, Tallahassee unloads
Like an entire clip.
way yeah, he unloads like two entire pistols, and I think he shotguns them once,
Yeah.
or maybe Eisenberg shotguns him or
Well, he has
something.
to bash his
He
skull
takes
in
way too many
too.
bullets and
Yeah.
still lives. But in the end scene, they just start doing donuts with the monster truck and just wiping them all out.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I don't know why they even introduced something like the T-800s because that something like an actual threat would never work in a movie like this. It just wouldn't work. You're
Hmm.
not gonna have any actual threat, any like trying or any illusion of an actual threat just isn't gonna work. So I feel like that was
And
just kind
like
of
a zombie's
a
a
waste.
threat enough because the second
Yeah,
you're bitten or scratched once, you turn into a zombie. So
yeah,
it's not like the threat's lost
yeah,
by the fact that they can kill them very easily because it only takes one little hit for one of them to turn.
yeah. I again, I'm fine with like them naming all the zombies like the homers and the ninjas and whatever. But
Hmm.
the T-800, just the whole new T-800 breed of zombie, which is totally underdeveloped and not used at all. It just shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, I
So
guess that would be like the biggest downfall of this movie, but it's not
yeah,
really.
it's not even that much of a problem. It's just
Yeah,
kind of like a gripe. It doesn't really distract because they're barely even there, so it's not like something that keeps coming up. Like, oh wow, this is a waste of space. It's
they're
just something I
barely
noticed.
there, and on top of that, all the zombies just look like zombies. It's not like they
Yeah,
have strictly indistinguishable traits.
except the Homer, who is always fat,
Yeah,
but he only shows up like
that's
twice.
that's one, but it doesn't really play into the movie that much. I think they use it for. I think they used the OG. It's just a Homer for a movie for a joke twice.
Yeah,
Once in the lot when they were fighting off zombies on the RV, and then once at the end.
yeah. And since well, Zombieland is always a movie about the characters, right? And this movie kind of the whole, especially in the beginning, the whole emphasis on like the zombies having different character types now. I feel like that's kind of a waste, and this movie Zombieland is never about the zombies. It's always about the characters. So I don't know why they wasted their time naming the zombies this time around and having them have different traits. It just really nobody cares. Nobody cares about the
Mhm.
zombies.
Speaking of the characters, what did you think of everybody's additional arc that they had? Because everybody kind of had their own not really split path, but individual motivations
Yeah,
in their goal to be, not dead.
yeah, I understood them. Again, it's a comedy. It's kind of something that was in the background, but I guess I liked it. You know, they all made sense. Tallahassee wanted to break away, obviously. Jesse Eisenberg wanted to trust someone, obviously. Emma Stone was playing hard to get, obviously, and it all made sense. It wasn't anything super out there, but again, if it was something super out there, it would have taken away from the comedy. So it's not like I mind that. I feel like, you know, in the context of something like Zombieland, the individual arcs, not anything special, but it worked for what they were trying to do,
Mhm.
and I liked it. What do you think?
I think each individual character's arc made a lot of sense.
Hmm.
You already mentioned like Tallahassee wants to break away, but then he also it's brought up early that he like needs to find love and he needs to accept Little Rock, and by the end of the movie, he accomplishes both those things,
Yeah,
and he also kind of in a sense loses the motivation to run away because he does, and then the T-800 swarm finds him.
yeah, but
Um, I'm sorry, I'm getting a text.
that's fine.
Okay. Like Little Rock's whole thing is about, finding the people that she like actually needs to be with, and she ends up hating that whatever the hippie dude is by the end of the
Yeah,
movie, and she keeps the gun on her in the whole hippie hideout, I guess,
uh huh,
which ends up contributing a big part to the climax of the movie, where Woody Harrelson almost dies but doesn't, but then almost dies again and then doesn't, and then almost dies a third time and then doesn't. Um, I feel like Jesse Eisenberg had the weakest arc of all the characters.
yeah. It was kind of, yeah.
Yeah,
He,
but it was kind of put in the background. It was
mhm.
really just set up to make the plot move, and then, oh wow, look, they got married at the end.
Yeah, and I think that's now that I'm thinking about it, that's kind of why I wasn't annoyed by the new characters, because a lot of times when they make sequels, they have new characters and you're like, this isn't the original team, this isn't what I paid for. But in this movie, if you think about it, the reason why the main characters are still the main characters in the sequel is because all the new characters, they don't really have any arc. So there's
Hmm.
not a lot of and I think that was a smart move to adding some freshness and keeping it fresh, but at the same time not distracting from the best part of the first movie, which would be the characters. So I just think the people who made this movie were really smart about it and really knew what they were doing, and
Yeah, I
yeah,
even feel like the most developed newcomer, Nevada, is
yeah,
really set up just to make Woody Harrelson more developed,
hmm,
because they have that talk about why he loves Elvis, and he leaves and comes back because of her, and she comes like to save them with the monster truck because of him. It's all just to flesh out the main cast more. It's not really to add somebody else into the mix.
uh huh, yeah. It was just I liked what they did there. It didn't they didn't have any new it wasn't overbearing. I guess that's
Hmm.
the theme of this movie. Nothing was really overbearing, which made sense, and they just knew what they were doing, and they made a wild comedy. Uh, do you have anything else to say, or do you want to get into number ratings?
Do you? All right. So at the end of the movie,
Uh huh.
they have that big scene where they chase the zombies up to the top of the tower. Uh, Woody Harrelson jumps off and then grabs onto the crane.
Yeah.
Do you think he should have died jumping off? Like, there's no crane there, and he should have just jumped in, and all the zombies should have followed him? Or do you think it made sense for him to like actually make it through that? Like, do you think there should have been self-sacrifice at that point in the movie?
Well, well, logically, they all should have died a bunch of times. A lot of ex machinas in this movie,
Oh yeah, definitely.
but
I'm just
thematic,
drawing attention to one moment.
yeah, thematically, probably not. That's what I was kind of thinking about when it was happening. The whole him dying thing, or anybody dying. I don't think it would have made sense thematically to have somebody die at the end of a comedy. You know, like again, these characters they were allowed to tease Madison dying because
Hmm.
it's fucking Madison. Who cares about the new characters? But in a comedy like this, I feel like again it would have took away from the movie to have an actual like sad moment at the end. So I'm usually really pissed off when shit like that happens, when characters should die but they don't because the movie just doesn't want to deal with it. I feel like this movie has a reason for that, which is why
Yeah, I feel
I
like
was fine.
it wouldn't have made sense for Tallahassee to die
Mhm.
there because even though, you just said a lot of movies go for that, they should die, but we're not going to because we could use them for jokes later.
Yeah.
Um, like I said, each character is kind of given their own little story, and if Tallahassee died, um, like when he jumped off, and like say he like missed the crane or the crane wasn't there,
Uh-huh.
or the zombie pulled him off the crane, or literally anything else that could have happened. Um, the millions of possibilities that could have happened went wrong. Um, it wouldn't have made sense for his character
Yeah.
because the main two things are accepting Little Rock and um, loving Nevada. And if Little Rock didn't pull out the gun to save him when the zombie was holding onto his leg off the crane, we would have lost that moment entirely.
Yeah. Yeah, it thematically in context of the movie, it made sense. So yeah, I was pretty okay with that. Do, do you have anything else?
All right, so I think that wraps it up. Anything else you want to say?
I think we should just get into our number ratings. Do you want to go first?
All right, I think this is 8 or higher.
Mm-hmm.
This is a great movie, maybe
Yeah.
even a 9.
Um. Yeah. It's not something. It's not anything groundbreaking. It's not an amazing piece of
It's
cinema.
not the new Star Wars, and by the new Star Wars, I mean it's better than average.
Uh. It's 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 like it's obviously nothing groundbreaking. It's nothing amazing, but at the same time, it shouldn't have been anything amazing because it couldn't have been anything amazing. I feel like this is probably the best you could have gotten out of a
Hmm.
sequel to Zombieland, and I really did enjoy it. It was good, fun, nothing more than that. But again, that's what it was supposed to be. Gonna give it an 8 out of 10. So yeah, I would recommend anyone to watch it, even if you didn't like the first one too much. This one improves. So yeah, I think that just about wraps it up here.
All right,
So thank you for coming on the show.
you're welcome.
So yeah, until next time. I don't even know what the fuck I'm gonna review next week because there's like 18 million movies that are coming out, and they're all like
You,
they all look mediocre.
you should review the movie you were talking about before you went in.
What? Wait, what movie?
Do you remember? Do you remember which movie you were talking about before you went in?
No, no, I do not. What is it?
American Psycho.
Oh, American Psycho. Well, that's old.
American Psycho.
All
Yeah.
I here at the Movie Hoppers, we are contemporary movie critics. We do not bother ourselves with the old stuff. But maybe
Mm,
maybe we can, and I can call you in. It's on Netflix, so yeah,
all right.
I'll call you up if that ever happens. Oh wait, Kanye,
Well,
what?
sounds like
Oh no, you go.
no. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, there's a Kanye West short film coming to IMAX at AMC. I might have to watch
Oh,
that. I just might.
that could be the new one.
That could be something. It's 35 minutes long. I don't know.
Ugh.
We'll just see what happens. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I
Yeah, cool.
guess yep. But that about does it. So thank you guys for watching and goodbye.